One of our biggest enemies with water is velocity. So anything we can do to slow the velocity down, slow down what we call in engineering time of concentration, or lengthen the time of concentration. So slow down the speed of the water, lengthen the time it takes water to go from point A to point B, and then encourage infiltration into the ground, then we end up with better water quality of whatever that surface water is running off, or if the water is going down through the profile, then the profile cleans the ground, just like your septic system, if they're working properly, in theory, then cleans the water as it goes down through the profile. Where we have our biggest problem with water quality from sheet flow water would be it's picking up all those sediments as it moves along through the surface profile. So call it a ditch and right into Chapman Lake, and that's where we had a lot of flooding in the marina and sediment plume out in the lake and everything else. So what we've done is created one dike up here and one down here, wascobs. The only difference that you'll notice is that there's no riser down here. So as I'd mentioned before, that the water would come down, hit this dike, and then would be held and go in a riser and then leave. If the water sits there more than 48 hours, you're going to kill the cash crop. If you get any sort of surface movement of sediment, then that can then get into that riser because it's got holes for the water to get in, so you can also get the sediment into that as well. So even though you have a perfectly functioning tile, but you've got an opening in it somewhere for surface water to get into, then you have a potential for sediment and contaminants to get through into the pipe and then wherever that pipe goes. So these we've put what are called blind inlets in. It's basically it's a septic system, if you will. It's a series of pipes and gravel that then when the water sets there, it'll percolate down through that quicker than it would just normal soil. Percolates down through that into eventually into the pipe system, but it's the water then coming, you know, from the surface is able to be filtered then before it goes into that tile. And the number of tile that are down in there, the sizing, the spacing, and all that's designed on how much water and the slope of ground is coming down this direction. This side's too steep, but the other side is farmable. So they're not losing that much ground, a little bit of ground, but not that much in relation to they're keeping all their topsoil back in place. And so you sacrifice a little bit of lost acres here to farm, but the advantage is you keep your topsoil in place there.